Hello, my fellow traveler. You have accessed Renegade Files, your underground connection to paranormal events, unsolved mysteries, and deep cultural analysis, where the overlooked, the hidden, and the quietly buried rise back into view. Step beyond the mainstream static and into a space where strange patterns are tracked, old questions are reopened, and the unexplained is given room to breathe. I'm your host, Lex Gordon, coming to you from the Jungle Villa Outpost, deep in the uncharted tropics. This is Renegade Files episode 114, The Nevada Triangle. The Nevada Triangle is often described as an inland Bermuda Triangle. Instead of tropical waters, it stretches over remote and rugged desert terrain. The loosely defined zone runs between Las Vegas, Reno, and Fresno, forming a triangle over mountain ranges, military airspace, and extreme weather corridors. Since the 1950s, more than 2,000 aircraft disappearances and crashes have been reported in this region. Some caused by unexpected weather or powerful downdrafts, but many from unknown causes, mysterious anomalies, or other unexplained reasons. The location includes restricted military testing zones, Area 51, the Nevada Missile Test and Training Range, and is the site for a long history of UFO sightings, abductions, and impossible to explain aerial phenomena. Experienced pilots have vanished without distress calls. Military aircraft have disappeared during routine exercises, and search teams often find little or no wreckage, all in an era of satellite tracking and aircraft distress technology. Is this simply harsh geography doing what difficult terrain naturally does, or is the Nevada Triangle a blend of hidden testing, electromagnetic interference, or something stranger still? On this episode, we map the facts and explore the mysterious airspace known as the Nevada Triangle. The Nevada Triangle. The Nevada Triangle. The Nevada Triangle. Part 1. The Triangle. The Nevada Triangle is often described as the landlocked counterpart to the Bermuda Triangle. Instead of open ocean, this zone stretches over desert basins, jagged mountain ranges, and restricted airspace. It has quietly earned a reputation among pilots as being both unforgiving and mysterious. The triangle itself is typically mapped between Las Vegas, Reno, and Fresno. Within those 3 points lies a massive span of high desert and mountain wilderness, covering more than 25,000 square miles. It's an area where civilian aircraft, private planes, and military jets all share the same sky on land, often over terrain. For decades, aviation charts have marked the location as challenging, but stories from pilots suggest something more unsettling. Since the 1950s, more than 2,000 aircraft incidents and crashes have been reported in the Nevada Triangle. Many of these accidents are officially attributed to weather, terrain, or mechanical failure, yet a significant number remain unresolved or only partially explained. Some aircraft vanished from radar without clear cause. In several cases, wreckage was never fully recovered. The numbers alone place this terrain among the highest concentration of aviation losses in North America. Pilots who regularly fly the western United States know about the triangle. Aviation forums and flight training discussions often refer to it as the most dangerous stretch of sky on the continent. The danger is measurable and documented, but the patterns of disappearance continue to draw attention. The Nevada Triangle has become known not only for its hazards, but for the strange way aircraft seem to vanish within it. Right in the middle of this zone is the highly restricted Nevada Test and Training Range. This immense military-controlled missile-testing airspace covers much of southern Nevada and extends into parts of California and Utah. Embedded within it is one of the most famous classified locations in the world, Area 51. The airspace surrounding this installation is among the most tightly controlled anywhere on Earth. We did an entire episode into Area 51. Go back and check that one out. For decades, experimental aircraft have been tested in these skies. Advanced fighters, stealth platforms, and prototype aerospace systems have all flown here under intense secrecy. Civilian pilots are required to avoid large portions of this airspace entirely. And even commercial traffic gives it wide berth. The overlap between frequent aircraft disappearances and a top-secret testing zone naturally invites attention. Reports of unidentified objects in this region go back generations. Ranchers, truck drivers, and pilots have all described unusual lights and silent crafts moving across the desert sky. Some sightings are easily dismissed, while others remain difficult to categorize. The combination of restricted military activity and persistent UFO reports has created a long-standing aura of secrecy around the Nevada Triangle. If aircraft are disappearing in the Triangle, they are doing so above terrain already associated with classified flight testing and decades of aerial mystery. The location alone raises questions about what might share the sky with civilian and military aircraft. It's a place where known aviation and unknown phenomenon appear to intersect. The geography itself invites speculation. The natural environment there is undeniably harsh. The Sierra Nevada mountain range produces powerful downdrafts and atmospheric disturbances known as mountain waves. These can destabilize even large aircraft. Sudden storms can form with little warning, and visibility can collapse in minutes as snow, dust, or cloud cover moves between the peaks. Pilots flying through these conditions must remain constantly alert. Earlier decades saw limited radar coverage in much of this terrain. Large gaps in tracking capability once existed over remote desert and mountainous areas, allowing aircraft to slip beyond reliable monitoring for extended periods. Even today, terrain masking makes some radar traffic difficult. Vast stretches of uninhabited land means that a downed aircraft might remain hidden for weeks, months, or even years. These environmental realities might explain some accidents. They account for navigational errors, sudden altitude loss, and controlled flight into certain types of terrain. Yet, the pattern of incidents includes experienced pilots, well-maintained aircraft, and occasional clear weather disappearances. Military jets and trained crews have also been lost in the Triangle under circumstances that remain only partially explained. The Nevada Triangle sits within a wider path of unusual activity in the American Southwest. Groom Lake and its surrounding test ranges form one node within a larger network of military installations and former nuclear testing grounds. Experimental aerospace programs have operated here for decades under deep classification. Reports of unidentified aerial phenomena continue to surface from across Nevada, Arizona, and New Mexico. High-altitude UFO sightings, unexplained lights, and unusual radar returns have all been reported within this desert landscape. Aviation losses within the Nevada Triangle are therefore viewed by some as part of a larger pattern rather than isolated events. The question remains whether this area is simply hazardous airspace or something far more active and unexplained. If you enjoy these investigations and want to help keep this independent show alive, join the Renegade Files Agency on Patreon and unlock exclusive, agent-only bonus episodes, the Dark Intel Files, and secret dispatches from me. If you believe in digging deeper and keeping truth alive, then join me at patreon.com/renegadefiles. There's a link in the show notes, and become an agent today. Thank you if you're already an RFA agent. You make this show possible. And thank you if you've ever thought of doing it and you jump in there today. I'll see you in there. Part 2. The disappearances. One famous Nevada Triangle disappearance occurred on September 3rd, 2007, when record-setting aviator and adventurer Steve Fawcett departed from a private airstrip near Smith Valley, Nevada. Fawcett was not a casual hobby pilot. He was an accomplished aviator. He was the first person to fly solo, non-stop around the world in both a balloon and a fixed-wing aircraft, and he held numerous world records for long-distance solo flight and sailing circumnavigations. On that morning, he took off alone in a Blanca Super Decathlon for what was expected to be a short recreational flight over the Nevada desert. Fawcett did not file a formal flight plan for the flight, something not uncommon for a brief private outing, but significant once he failed to return. He carried minimal survival gear and was not in routine contact with air traffic control. When he did not check in and failed to land as expected, concern quickly escalated into a full search operation. Despite his experience and the relatively simple nature of the flight, he never made a distress call, and no confirmed radio transmission was received after takeoff. The search for Fawcett was enormous and well publicized. More than 60 aircraft, including Civil Air Patrol units and private search teams, scanned thousands of square miles of desert and mountain terrain. Satellite imagery and modern tracking tools were employed, yet no wreckage or signal was detected. For some unknown reason, his aircraft's emergency locator system failed to transmit its beacon. After weeks without results, the official search was suspended. More than a year later, in October 2008, a hiker in the Sierra Nevada east of Mammoth Lakes, California, discovered personal identification belonging to Fawcett. Additional searches revealed scattered wreckage at high elevation, far from the original search focus. Investigators concluded that downdrafts or terrain may have contributed to the crash, but the long delay in locating the site underscored how completely an aircraft can disappear here. Fawcett's disappearance drew particular attention because of his extraordinary level of skill and experience. He had survived extreme endurance flights and solo global circumnavigations, yet a short recreational flight over the American West in the Nevada Triangle had ended without warning or communication. His case remains a clear modern example of how even the most accomplished aviators can vanish within the Nevada Triangle, leaving behind questions of how such a disappearance can occur in an era of advanced tracking and search technology. There are other civilian cases that draw less national attention, but remain part of aviation records. In several Nevada Triangle incidents from the 1960s through the 90s, small private aircraft vanished after routine departures and were not located for months or years. Some flights disappeared from radar coverage while cruising in clear conditions. In multiple cases, emergency locator transmitters failed to activate or produced no usable signal for search crews. Activation safety reports from the National Transportation Safety Board document incidents in which pilots simply stopped responding to air traffic control. Radar returns in certain cases showed aircraft maintaining course and altitude before contact ended abruptly. Search teams were dispatched to last known coordinates but recovered little or no wreckage. These reports remain in the official accident record, even when final causes can't be fully determined. The Nevada Triangle has also seen the loss of military aircraft during training exercises. In 1986, a United States Navy attack aircraft operating near Naval Air Station Fallon went down during a routine mission over remote terrain. Search teams located the crash site only after an extended operation due to the isolated location. Similar incidents involving training jets have occurred near the Nevada Test and Training Range over the decades. Military crash investigations are not always fully released to the public. Some reports are summarized, while others remain partially classified due to the nature of the missions involved. In several cases, pilots were unable to transmit final communications before the crash. The lack of detailed public information has contributed to some ongoing speculation about exactly what occurs within this restricted airspace and within the Nevada Triangle as a whole. There have also been persistent accounts within aviation circles of near misses involving unidentified aerial objects. Some of these reports come from military pilots who later spoke informally or through declassified documents. Others remain anecdotal but circulate widely among flight communities. The combination of restricted testing zones and unexplained sightings keeps these accounts alive in what could be called pilot culture. The issue of missing wreckage continues to complicate investigations in the Nevada Triangle. Some aircraft have been located years after disappearing, often by hikers or survey crews who stumble upon debris in remote mountain ranges. Other aircraft have never been recovered despite extensive searches, even when approximate crash locations are known. The terrain can make access nearly impossible. That is a big part of it. Modern aviation relies on satellites, digital tracking, and emergency locator systems. These are designed to prevent total disappearance, yet gaps still occur in the Nevada Triangle. Radar coverage can be limited at low altitude, and locator beacons can fail because of impact damage or terrain shielding. These technological limitations often leave open the possibility for aircraft to remain hidden far longer than expected. As these incidents accumulate over decades, a persistent question emerges. With modern tracking, navigation, and search capabilities, how can so many aircraft vanish in the Nevada Triangle? Some answers may lie in geography or weather, others in military secrecy, and still others in things far less easily explained. To explore that possibility, we now dive into Part 3, the paranormal. Tap follow real quick wherever you're listening to stay connected to Renegade Files and to help the show thrive. Thank you. Beyond the mountains and restricted airspace of Nevada lies a broader terrain that has drawn attention for the centuries. This location has produced a steady stream of sightings, encounters, and reported contacts that extend far beyond ordinary aviation hazards. When mapped together, many of these events form a loose but compelling pattern across Nevada, Arizona, and New Mexico. It is within this wider geography that the Nevada Triangle begins to take on a different context. At the center of that context stands the installation known as Area 51. For decades, this remote base has been associated with experimental aircraft and classified aerospace testing. Pilots flying near its restricted airspace have reported unusual lights, high-speed objects, and crafts performing maneuvers beyond conventional aircraft capability. While many sightings can be attributed to advanced military technology, not all have been fully explained. Stories of reverse-engineered technology and recovered materials have circulated since the mid-20th century. Aviation enthusiasts and researchers have long speculated that some of the world's most advanced experimental craft were tested in this region before being revealed publicly years later. Others believe that not all of what has been tested here originated on Earth. Whether taken as rumor or possibility, the reputation of Area 51 continues to shape how people interpret unexplained events. Traveling southeast from Nevada, another historic event comes into view. In July of 1947, outside of the town of Roswell, New Mexico, debris was recovered from a ranch following reports of a crash in the desert. Initial military statements referred to a recovered flying disc before being quickly revised to describe a weather balloon. The Roswell incident became the foundation of modern UFO lore and introduced the idea that recovered craft and technology might be studied in secret facilities. To dive extremely deep into the Roswell incident, be sure to go back and listen to Renegade Files episode 103 and 104, that is, the Roswell UFO incident, part 1 and part 2. Check them out. The distance from Roswell to Area 51 forms part of a much larger pattern. Military installations, nuclear testing grounds, and restricted airspace dot this landscape. Some researchers suggest that if any recovered technology existed, it would likely have been transferred to isolated locations such as Nevada for study and testing. This possibility has fueled decades of speculation that the skies above this area serve as both testing ground and observation zone for advanced aerial phenomena. In 1975, another event unfolded here when a group of forestry workers in the mountains of northern Arizona reported a close encounter with a luminous craft. One of those workers, Travis Walton, disappeared for 5 days following the incident and later recounted an abduction experience aboard a non-human craft. Multiple witnesses confirmed seeing the object, and Walton's disappearance triggered a large-scale search. His story remains a widely discussed and debated alien abduction case to this day. We covered the Travis Walton story in Renegade Files episode 57, Betty and Barney Hill versus Travis Walton, an alien abduction analysis. Once again, go back and dig that one. So, northern Arizona, from which Travis Walton was allegedly abducted, sits just beyond the southeastern edge of the Nevada Triangle. Those forests and mountains have produced numerous reports of unusual lights or silent craft over the decades. Walton's account added a human element to a long record of unexplained aerial phenomenon. His story continues to be cited by those who believe the American Southwest functions as a long-standing flight path for non-human visitors. In March of 1997, thousands of Arizona residents reported witnessing a massive V-shaped formation of lights moving silently across the night sky. This event, known as the Phoenix Lights, unfolded over several hours and was observed by civilians, pilots, and law enforcement officers. Some witnesses described a structured craft blocking out the stars as it passed overhead. Official explanations later attributed the sightings to military flares, though many observers vehemently disputed that conclusion. The reported Phoenix Lights path stretched over a significant portion of the Southwest. Some researchers have suggested that the object or formation of objects followed a trajectory that intersected with restricted airspace extending toward Nevada. This idea has contributed to the belief that a consistent flight path for unidentified craft may exist in this stretch of desert. The Nevada Triangle sits directly within that path. When these events are considered together, a pattern begins to emerge. Highly restricted military airspace, decades of classified aerospace testing, and persistent UFO sightings all converge over the same geographic zone. Aircraft disappearances within the Nevada Triangle occur within this wider context of unusual aerial reports. For some observers, this overlap feels too consistent to ignore. You may remember that we went on a deep dive into the Phoenix Lights. Go back and check that episode out too. I'm saying that a lot this time, but you know what? Sometimes things overlap, and this is one of them. Pilots have occasionally reported objects moving at extreme speeds or appearing briefly on radar before vanishing. Some accounts describe instrument anomalies or temporary communication disruption during these encounters. These reports continue to circulate within aviation communities, and the possibility that unidentified craft share this airspace with conventional aircraft remains an open question. The idea of a UFO flight path running through the American Southwest has gained traction in recent years. Proponents point to clusters of sightings, military installations, long stretches of uninhabited terrain, Native American legends and stories of the star people from this area, all of these as factors that would favor this activity. They suggest that if unidentified craft were operating in Earth's atmosphere, remote deserts would provide ideal transit routes. Whether viewed as coincidence, secrecy, or something more extraordinary, the consistent UFO country of the Southwest continues to produce both aviation incidents and unexplained sightings. Reports from Nevada, Arizona, and New Mexico form a tapestry of events that resist simple categorization. The same skies that host advanced military testing also host stories of lights, unidentified crafts, and encounters that remain unsolved. The Nevada Triangle sits at the center of all of that enduring mystery. To dive even deeper into the world of Renegade Files, join the Renegade Files agency on Patreon and become an RFA agent today. You can check out our Patreon page for free at patreon.com/renegadefiles, or just tap the link in the show notes to get bonus episodes and days of other cool content. For less than you tip a pizza guy, you can help me keep making this show. And thank you if you're an RFA agent there already. You make this show work. My summary. When you strip this story down to its documented core, a few facts stand firm. The terrain across Nevada and eastern California is punishing. Mountain waves can force an aircraft downward with little warning. Storm systems form quickly. Radar coverage has historically been uneven, and vast stretches of desert make recovery operations slow and uncertain. Military secrecy is also real. The Nevada Test and Training Range exists. Area 51 exists. Experimental aircraft have flown there for decades and under deep classification. Not every radar anomaly or strange light in the sky belongs to visitors from another world. Some belong to projects that the public may never know about. And yet, even with these realities acknowledged, certain details refuse to settle neatly into place. Aircraft have vanished without distress calls. Emergency locator systems have failed to transmit. Experienced pilots, including record setters like Steve Fawcett, have disappeared for months or years before being located, if they're located at all. Some military losses remain partially sealed, their final moments summarized but never fully illuminated. Overlay that record with the broader Southwest pattern: Roswell in 1947, Travis Walton in 75, the Phoenix Lights in 1997, decades of sightings around Groom Lake, reports from civilian pilots describing objects that don't fly according to known aerodynamics or physics. When mapped geographically, these events cluster in the same tract of desert, test ranges, and restricted skies as the Nevada Triangle. As an investigator who values verifiable data, I can't prove extraterrestrial craft move through the Nevada Triangle. No undisputed evidence rises to that standard, but I also can't ignore the connection and concentration of anomalies within the triangle, nor the number of credible witnesses who have stepped forward over generations. That pattern demands attention. Perhaps the Nevada Triangle is simply a most unforgiving airspace, a place where weather and geography punish the smallest mistake. Or perhaps it's something more layered, a shared airspace where advanced human technology and unidentified phenomena intersect. In paranormal investigations, you follow the evidence where it leads. Here, it leads to an airspace where planes and jets still vanish, where sightings of UFOs persist, and where military secrecy remains part of the landscape. The Nevada Triangle may be dangerous by nature, but it may also be active in other ways that we have yet to fully understand. The sky above is still open, and whatever moves through that sky, known or unknown, continues to leave behind just enough to keep us asking questions and to keep us looking up. Thank you sincerely for investigating the Nevada Triangle with me. Subscribe or follow this show now, so together we can meet here next time and explore the deepest covert stories of UFOs, aliens, hauntings, cryptids, conspiracy theories, and unsolved mysteries. I am so glad to have you in the Renegade Files crew. You have listened to this episode to this point. You appreciate the work I put into making these shows for you. Right now is the best time to tap the Patreon link in the show notes. Do that and come check out everything I've made for you there. And I'll see you inside. Until our next adventure, I'm your host, Lex Gordon. Stay wild, drifter child.